Hi guys, I wanted to do a little review today. This is my first time using the audio function on my Record app, so we'll see how well it works. First I just want to go over the app I use to record everything I've been doing on my tablet. As you can see in the top left corner, it's just called REC or Record with a period at the end. It's super simple. I do have the Pro version. It was relatively cheap, but oh man is it worth it. So you have your standard mode. They recently did an update. You can adjust your size by tapping size. It'll actually give you your default size for your screen, which is pretty awesome. You can also change your bitrate. Now I just prefer 20, but if you're having issues with running it or whatever, or even putting on your computer, I do use 15. It still works okay. I always set it for an hour. You can always adjust your duration, and you can always stop at mid-duration if you need to too. It's not a big deal. Again, my first time ever using audio. And I named it Artflow because I'm also going to be reviewing Artflow for this video, which is the app I use to draw. It's pretty fun. So you can see how there's a stop button. That's because I'm recording. Now once you set up your, however the best you decide to record, hit the little plus button at the top and you can set it as a default. For me, I already have one set up. I call it large, and it pretty much has everything maxed out for me. So now we're going to move on to Artflow. Again, Record's a great app. You should really check it out. You do have to have a rooted tablet for Record. So okay, Artflow. You can see some of the videos I've done on here and some other things, but that's not important. I do like that it saves them, that you can view them. You can always go back and change them. So let's see. You'll see top right, there's a save button. That's because I already opened up a file for us. There's a plus button that allows you to pick default sizes, or you can hit custom and you can actually drag these little bars to create a custom size. You can enter each pixel type. You can make it based on resolution. For me, I prefer to just hit plus and then my standard screen size, which is this last one. And we'll go ahead and discard that first one. And there we go, we're opened up to a blank screen. So I guess we'll go over a few of the basics. You'll see these little arrows on each side. Open up the two toolbars. To the left is all the layer options, and to the right is all the brushes, fill, smudge, everything like that. So we'll go ahead and just start off with the basics. We'll draw a little smiley face. That's so neat. You love it. Alright, so I already have all my brushes set up to the way I like them. My first brush, the very first brush it gives me every time I log on, is a very low opacity, nice thin brush. I use it mainly for sketching, so I can just start sketching right from the start. I don't have to worry about adjusting my brushes or anything like that, so it starts, I mean, it's great for sketching. It's just the way I prefer. I don't have to lower the opacity on the layer. I don't have to worry about any of that. I can just start sketching. The second brush over is the one I use for drawing. I keep everything maxed, especially the flow, because that way it makes filling images easier later down the road. You can see it makes a nice thick line. Also makes a nice pointed edge. You can adjust the size fairly large. Now I am using the S Pen, so I do have pressure sensitivity, so I can make, thin lines if I want to, change the opacity as I see fit. I have all these brushes pretty much set up the way I want them, just because they're my main brushes. This one I use for shading, filling in small things. Different textured and angled brushes. We'll go over some of the quick settings here. You can change your size and your flow, which flow kind of, if you can see what it does here, it just changes the way it adds on. Almost like, I want to say almost like an airbrush. The center will be more opaque than the outside. It's just a nice way of thing. You can of course change the opacity, the softness of the brush. I usually don't mess with it, but if you increase the softness, it kind of makes it less pixely, I guess you could say. But if you turn down the softness, it's really not much more noticeable, but it does make it a lot easier to fill in images and later down the road. Now there's many different types here. You have a pencil tool, all the different types of pencils, crayon with cool little textures. Some of these are great if you're doing grass or hair. Crayon, which I was just in. There we go. Yeah, different textured brushes. Again, all with the same settings. You have your standard airbrush, with textures. This is one I really like. I use this for backgrounds a lot, just because it's fun. It's a nice simple texture background, so you don't have to do anything too fancy. They're all kind of like that. These ones are great for blending. And the roller brush. I've tried doing this before with for making a halftone, but it didn't work out amazingly in my favor, but it's still a lot of fun. This one is for all your little cool, whatever you want, leaves. Make that a little bigger. There we go. I know I said a little bigger, but I'll make it a lot bigger. That's right, I said a lot bigger. Alright. And this one, which I don't even know what you can call some of these, but just ridiculous random brushes. Some of my favorites would be like the splatters. I enjoy splatter brushes. Alright, so those are pretty much the basic brushes. We have the smudge tool, which we can change the size of the smudge, the flow of the smudge, and of course the softness. And that is just, I use it for blending sometimes I don't. It's good for giving it like a water smudge mark. So, you know, this is wet. Or if you're making hair. Look at that, looks gorgeous. I'm just kidding. Alright, and then you've got, of course, the spill. Spill is very generic. You can change the tolerance and the opacity. There's nothing horribly special about it, but it's very efficient. And then we'll go back to a simple brush so I can show you the next things. Alright, so the next ones are the different brush types. I guess you could say, functionality-wise, you have free roam, which I already have set to. The line tool. You have your squares, which is very handy. Oops. Circles. And the ruler. And this will automatically make you draw a straight line wherever you place it, in the angle you place the ruler, which is nice if you need to repeat multiple lines. And then this is a tool that I think is just super fun. I'm actually going to change the color. I love the color layout on this. You can also go to swatches if you need swatches of different types. We'll just do green so I can see it better. So the way the circumference tool works is you can rotate it, you can change the circumference, you can change the radius, wait, adjust that, you can change the radius, whatever, you get what I mean. But pretty much wherever you place your cursor, you'll draw a circle. A perfect circle. That was a weird little glitch. Alright, you get my point. And then you can adjust it and it'll draw them however you adjusted it. So, that's just a fun tool. I haven't really used it for much, but I enjoy it. Again, it's just the way the color select tool works. I love color tools like this. You also have your little selector up there at the top, swatches at the other top, and then I actually have it set up so if I hold my finger on the screen, I get a color selector. I go ahead and pick black, and now I'm black. Alright, back to freehand. Now we're going to go to the next thing. I'm going to go ahead and pin this down with this little pin at the top. I'm going to go ahead and pin that down. I think I forgot to show you guys these. This is the undo and redo buttons. Alright, we're going to hit the other arrow on the other side, and this is all the layers. You can change your background color. And the plus button. You have the plus is for a new layer. The plus with the two boxes is for repeating a layer. The box with the arrow, or excuse me, the box with the folder is for opening from your documents. And the photo is for taking a photo. Down arrow is for merging. Double circles changes opacity of layers. And of course you can set different filters, which is awesome. You don't normally see programs that allow you to do that. Here you can adjust saturation, hue, brightness, contrast. You can also set things like negative, sepia. Pretty much the general things. Nothing horribly amazing, but I mean something you don't normally see in a lot of tablet things. You can also move. Oh yeah, look, now you can see the negative. So now you can move things, you can rotate. You can change the size. You can flip in different directions, rotate, mirror, cancel, or OK. And my favorite tool, the Erase All tool. You also have the right here. Oh, let me pin that up. Right there, you have the, right there, you have the tool that allows you to share your picture with Facebook or Twitter, Pinterest. That's a button to bring you back to your gallery. And this is a settings button. Go into the settings for the entire program. Changes your input, painting types, pretty much generalistic stuff, palm rejection, pen tools, pen only mode, things like that. So this is Artflow. I gave you a quick walkthrough through it. Now I'm going to tell you what I think about it. I do use it for a lot of my main apps now, or excuse me, for a lot of my main art. It's kind of, it's replaced the app that came with my tablet, which I thought was the coolest. I'll jump to that real quick. It's the Sketchbook for Galaxy. It's a great software, but once I found Artflow, I was blown away. It's great. It's like a mini Photoshop without having to pay the Photoshop prices. So yeah, I give Artflow, I don't know, a 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10. It's got some drawbacks. Sometimes I have issues filling in things. It doesn't fill them in properly. That could be my fault, but either way, it's got an issue with some things like that. Lines that are touching, it doesn't think it's touching, so it fills through them. Just some tedious things, but it's nothing huge. I do wish there was a few more texture options with the pens, but other than that, I mean, it's a great software. I definitely recommend it. I do have the pro version. Definitely try out the free version. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. I love you guys. Peace out.